Welcome to another edition of the Market Opening Gong, the program that gives you a wrap-up of activities in the Nigerian capital market. This edition captures the key developments in the week. The FX Commodities Index inched higher by 6.5% at the close of trading last week to settle at a season high of 186.65 points. The rally in the ACI came on the back of increased processor demand in the maize and paddy rice markets. Following weeks of processor absence in the maize markets, processors resumed inventory procurement as stocks have begun to deplete below maintenance thresholds, leading to a 6.92% spike in the price of maize in the week under review. Converse to the established trend of a price reset in the commodities market during harvest, a combination of the impact of reduced imports of rice through the land borders, the imminence of the Eid al-Fitr celebrations, and the high influx of processor demands drove up prices astronomically. Niger Insurance PLC has informed the Nigerian Stock Exchange and the investing public that it will be having its 221st Board of Directors meeting on June 8, 2020. The meeting will be hosted virtually via teleconference by 11 a.m. The following items will be transacted during the meeting: Managing Director's report to the Board of Directors, presentation and approval of the 2019 audited financial statements, updates on the recapitalization and merger scenarios, and any other business. In view of the above, the company hereby announces the commencement of a closed period from 22nd May 2020 until 24 hours after the 2019 AFS is released to the public. Within this period, all those who are considered as insiders of the company, in accordance with the provisions of the rules and regulations of the Securities and Exchange Commission and the Nigerian Stock Exchange, are under restriction not to trade or deal in the shares of the company. MTN Nigeria Communications PLC over the weekend notified the Nigerian Stock Exchange and the investing public of its proposed Series 1 and 2 commercial paper issuance of up to 50 billion naira. Having already received FMDQ Securities Exchange PLC approval for the registration of its 100 billion naira commercial paper program. The issuance is part of the company's strategy to diversify its financing options, with the funds being deployed towards working capital and general corporate purposes. Further details on the initial issuance as well as subsequent issuances will be communicated to the market as the transactions occur. You can also check for updates on the impact of COVID-19 on markets and the economy on the Corona Watch Central dashboard showing on the screen. For the highlights from yesterday, according to the National Bureau of Statistics, the total value of capital importation into Nigeria stood at $5,854.38 million in the first quarter of 2020. This represents an increase of 53.97% compared to Q4 2019 and minus 31.19% decrease compared to the first quarter of 2019. The largest amount of capital importation by type was received through portfolio investment, which accounted for 73.61% of total capital importation, followed by other investments, which accounted for 22.73% of total capital, and then foreign direct investment, which accounted for 3.66% of total capital imported in Q1 2020. By sector, capital importation by banking dominated Q1 2020, reaching $2,990.21 million of the total capital importation in Q1 2020. Also, Lagos State Government, in a continuous effort to provide the much-needed relief to taxpayers and mitigate the economic impact of COVID-19 pandemic, has through the Lagos State Internal Revenue Service further extended the deadline for filing of annual tax returns to June 30th, 2020. Annual returns for individuals, both employees and self-employed persons, that were initially due on May 31st, 2020, can now be filed anytime on or before the 30th of June 2020. According to the Executive Chairman of LIRS, Mr. Ayodele Subar, as the Lagos state government keeps abreast of global best practices in containing the COVID-19 pandemic and the cases that affect of an economic downturn on taxpayers and residents of the state, LIRS had initially extended the deadline for filing annual tax returns for 2 months from the statutory March 31st of every fiscal year to May 31st, 2020. We constantly debated what other measures could be taken as an organization to support individuals and businesses at this time. Hence the additional 1-month extension from June 1st to June 30th, 2020. It is our sincere hope that taxpayers take advantage of this new extension to duly file their returns. For the key events to watch, Mr. Ayo Daudu, MD CEO Loistar, will focus on Nigerian e-commerce industry on the economy and politics chrononomics discourse by 9 a.m. And that will be all for this edition of the Market Opening Gong. Visit www.proshareng.com to get more updates from our news stories and videos. Connect with us on our social media platforms displaying on the screen for further updates on our market reports and to watch a live stream of the weekday Corona Watch program. The ProShare mobile app is also available on Apple Store and Play Store on your mobile device, which allows you to customize your preferred news and videos. Till we come your way again, thank you for watching and do stay safe.